Isabella Marino had just started working 2 days ago for the Romano family. It wasn't an easy job, running errands between the family's clubs, warehouses, and bookmaking joints, but she was happy to have it. She'd been looking for steady work for a long time, and in this city, getting a position under a Don's payroll meant you were protected. Now that she had it, she wanted to do her best. That morning, the skies over Mulberry Street were dark. The air smelled like gunpowder and wet concrete. Heavy rain poured down, making the cobblestones slick and the alleyways reek of gasoline. Isabella clutched her small black umbrella tight as she hurried toward La Fortuna, the Romano family's main social club and front for their operations. She couldn't afford to be late. As she rounded a corner near the docks, something made her stop. An old woman stood there in the rain, shivering. Her wool shawl was soaked through and her feet were bare on the wet pavement. She had no umbrella, no coat, nothing to shield her from the cold wind blowing off the bay. She just stood there, looking lost, like she'd been dropped in a city she didn't understand. Isabella's heart twisted. She stepped toward her. "Nonna, take this. You'll catch your death," Isabella said, pushing the umbrella into the woman's hands. "You gotta get somewhere warm." The old woman looked at her with tired, watery eyes and shook her head. "My child, I got nowhere to go. Just came in from Sicily last night. I know nobody here." Isabella felt a pang deep in her chest. She reached into her coat pocket and pulled out the little money she had, a few crumpled bills, barely enough for lunch. "Here, Nonna, take this. Find somewhere to stay." But the old woman refused, pushing the money back toward her. "I can't take what you need for yourself, ragazza mia." Isabella thought for a moment, then smiled faintly. "Then come with me. I'm heading to work. You can stay at the safe house till you figure your way around." The old woman's eyes welled with tears. "May the saints bless you, figlia mia." Isabella took her by the arm and the two of them walked under the umbrella toward La Fortuna. Inside the club, Isabella found a quiet corner in the back near the card tables for Nonna to sit. She got her a dry blanket from the back room. "Don't worry, Nonna. I only got a few hours before I'm on break. After that, I'll take you over to my safe house before I come back." The old woman nodded and watched Isabella work. This young woman had so little, yet she was giving her so much. A few hours later, Isabella left during her break, slipping through the rain-slick streets to a nearby deli to buy food for herself and the old woman. Her cash was thin, but she didn't care. Nonna needed to eat. While Isabella was out, the front door of La Fortuna swung open. In stepped Valentina De Luca, her heels clicking against the marble floor. She was the fiancée of Don Alessandro Romano, the man who ran the whole family, and she loved showing up unannounced to remind everyone she was going to be the queen of this empire. She spotted the old woman in the corner instantly. Her lip curled in disgust. She said, "Who brought this filthy street beggar in here?" Loud enough for the entire room to hear. Nonna slowly looked up, confused. "My child, please don't be angry. I'll leave." Valentina scoffed, crossing her arms. "You better. This is my husband-to-be's club. You're not welcome here, you dirty old woman. Now get out." The old woman shook her head, and her voice calm but edged with steel. "You got no manners, ragazza. I wonder what kind of man would take you as his wife." Valentina's eyes widened with rage. "You poor old woman, shut your mouth and get out before I have you thrown into the street." Nonna stood slowly, her frail hands trembling, and walked toward the door without another word. Isabella stepped through the rain back toward La Fortuna, a brown paper bag of food under her coat. But just before she reached the club's front doors, she froze. Nonna Rosa was standing outside the iron gates, rain dripping from her hair, her shoulders sagging like she'd walked 100 miles. "Nonna, what are you doing out here?" Isabella asked, hurrying over. The old woman heavily sighed. "My child, don't be angry. A young woman came in, told me to get out, said I was dirty, poor, and didn't belong in the Romano family's place." Isabella's jaw tightened. "Who was she?" "She said she was the Don's wife-to-be, name's Valentina." A storm lit in Isabella's chest. She spun on her heel and pushed through the doors of La Fortuna. Valentina was there, lounging in a leather chair near the roulette table, inspecting her nails like she owned the joint. "Valentina," Isabella called, her voice low but sharp. Valentina's head lifted lazily. "Oh, the little errand girl's back. What do you want?" How dare you treat my mother that way? Isabella's voice cut through the room. Valentina laughed. Your mother? That filthy beggar? Please, I told Alessandro not to let you work here, but he didn't listen. Isabella stepped closer. You don't even know if the Don will marry you. Look at yourself. Arrogant, full of nothing but your own reflection. If you can treat a helpless old woman like that, I wonder how you'll treat your future mother-in-law. Valentina scoffed. My future mother-in-law isn't poor and filthy like that woman. She's classy, beautiful, like me. You're blind, Isabella said coldly. You think beauty and money make a good wife? No. A good wife is kind, respectful, loyal. You'll never know what true love is. Valentina shot up from her chair, finger in Isabella's face. I promise you, you'll lose your job. You'll regret crossing me. Isabella's laugh was bitter. I don't care. I don't work for people who spit on the old and the weak. I'm taking my mother home. Keep your filthy threats. She turned on her heel and left, the club door slamming behind her. Outside, Nonna Rosa was waiting. My child, you didn't have to fight for me, she said softly. I had to, Nonna. No one gets to treat you that way. Let's go. They disappeared down the wet street, leaving the sound of rain and the muffled jazz inside La Fortuna behind. After Isabella and Nonna Rosa were gone, Valentina De Luca sat in La Fortuna's private lounge, her red nails tapping against the arm of the leather chair. Her face was twisted with rage. A nobody, an errand girl, had just stood up to her. She reached for the black rotary phone on the desk and dialed. The line clicked. On the other end, a deep voice answered. Valentina, what's wrong? You sound upset. Ale, she said, cracking into a sob. Something terrible just happened. There was a pause. Then, Alessandro Romano's voice grew cold. Isabella did that? Yes, Valentina lied smoothly. And she made it clear she doesn't respect you. She walked out like she runs the place. If you keep her around, Ale, I can't be part of this family. On the other end of the line, Alessandro's jaw tightened. I'll handle it. Go home. Rest. Thank you, amore, Valentina whispered, smirking as she hung up the phone. Let's see you survive this, street girl, she muttered to herself. Meanwhile, Isabella and Nonna Rosa reached Isabella's safe house, a small, dim room above a shuttered tailor shop. The single bulb flickered, the floor creaked under their feet. It wasn't much, an old mattress in the corner, a chipped wooden table, and a pot for boiling pasta, but it was home. Nonna, I know this place is small, but you can stay here as long as you want, Isabella said, pouring her a glass of water. The old woman smiled. My child, it's not about size, it's about the love inside, and I can see you have a good heart. They ate quietly, but halfway through, Nonna Rosa set down her fork and sighed. I came to this city for a reason. Isabella raised her eyebrow. What reason? I came to find a wife for my son. Isabella nearly choked on her bread. Me? Yes, figlia mia, Nonna said, smiling. From the moment I met you, I knew you were special, kind, loyal, hard-working. You'd make a good wife for him. Isabella shook her head in disbelief. Mama, I have to meet him first. We need to know each other before we talk about marriage. That's fair, Nonna said. But I'll tell you now, he's not wealthy. He works hard, he's brilliant, and yes, very handsome. Isabella laughed. Nonna, stop selling your son like he's a prized racehorse. Let me meet him first. They both chuckled. Then the phone rang. Isabella picked it up. Hello? The voice on the other end was sharp and commanding. This is Don Alessandro Romano, the man who runs the club you worked at. Until today. Isabella's blood chilled. She had never met him before. Don Romano, she said cautiously. I hear you brought outsiders into my club and assaulted my fiancé. Who told you that you could start trouble in my house? That's not what happened, Isabella said firmly. I helped an old woman who had nowhere to go. She was sitting quietly. Your fiancé insulted her and threw her out. I defended her, that's all. You should have called me, Alessandro said coldly. You've been here 2 days and already you're making a mess. With respect, Don Romano, Isabella replied. I didn't think helping an old woman needed permission. Would you rather I left her to be thrown into the street? Alessandro's tone didn't soften. Valentina says she'll walk away if I don't get rid of you, and I can't lose her over a worker I barely know." A bitter laugh escaped Isabella's lips. "I expected nothing less. You're a man who lets his woman pull his strings." "What did you just say?" he hissed. "You heard me. Keep your job. I don't need it." She hung up. Nonna Rosa, who had been listening, asked quietly, "My child, was that your boss?" "Yes, and I'm fired. All because Valentina lied to him." Nonna's face fell. "This is my fault." "No, Nonna. If I lost my position for standing up for you, I have no regrets." Later that night, Isabella noticed something about Nonna Rosa she hadn't before. Her phone. It wasn't some cheap payphone burner like most people in their position used. No, it was a polished, gold-trimmed, latest model handset, the kind only the bosses and high earners carried. It rang. Nonna Rosa answered in calm Sicilian. "See, it's me," she said softly. A deep male voice came through. "Mama, I'm back from the trip. Come home. I need to see you." He sounded weak. "You're not well?" she asked, her brow furrowing. "I'll be fine. Just come tomorrow." When the call ended, she tucked the expensive phone into her shawl. Isabella, narrowing her eyes, asked, "Nonna, who was that?" "My son," Nonna replied. "He just got back. Says he's sick. Wants to see me." "I'll come with you," Isabella offered. "No, figlia mia." Nonna waved it off. "I'll call you soon. Don't worry." Isabella glanced again at the phone. How does a woman fresh off the boat from Sicily have a phone like that? Nonna chuckled nervously. "My son saved up to buy it for me, so I could watch my favorite programs even when the power's out. He's thoughtful like that." Isabella smirked. "Your boy must really love you, Nonna, but you're still selling him too hard." The next morning, Nonna Rosa packed a small leather case and left Isabella's safe house. Hours later, she arrived at the Romano estate, a sprawling, walled compound outside the